We're
We're playing
live.
it. Alright, let's go.
Going up games.
Nice.
It looks like
Yes, camera work is sick. Okay, so you're on Gabos and he's on just.
he's on the
and
Jeskai Saga.
Oh yeah, he's on the Modern Horizons 2 Precon.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Push. Go to 19. Yep, 19.
So I don't know about you. I'm actually seeing
That's you.
it actually is working on the actual main stream. It's just playing.
Sure.
You just stifled your land.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And that's one of those things where there's no way you play around that on Tundra Pass. There's 0% chance you ever play around Stifle.
No, I agree. I
Goblins?
wasn't careful about it at all.
Sure. Okay.
Preemptive Needle, I assume he names Aether Vial, right?
Starts it.
He
Yeah,
named
20.
um, what did he name?
20 all.
I actually
Six.
forgot.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all of his turn is like early game interaction. So, I mean, there isn't really much agency for the Goblos player here to be on the draw.
Yeah, true.
Like the game is infinitely different if you're on the play because you get the fetch, you play an Aether Vial. He has to follow up on turn one, Pithing Needle the Aether Vial. You follow up with a Lackey. He has to Swords the Lackey, which means that he then plays a naked Urza Saga that doesn't actually give him a play.
Yeah, I
So
guess he
instead of-
named Vial with the needle.
Yeah, it's like him being on the play means that he got to convert all 3 mana going into his turn 3.
That's fine.
As opposed to where if he was on the draw, he would only have been able to convert 2 mana and have a naked Urza Saga that won't convert him a mana that you could then waste for that would trade on no value. And then he's still stuck with a Stifle that if he tapped out to play that Pithing Needle, he can't respond to protect the Urza Saga. So it's possible that he doesn't even play the Urza Saga. So like just being on the play alone gets to set up this series of land drops that he otherwise would never get to play with Stifle in his deck.
That there is a little bit of glare there. That is a Mog War Marshal I played on my turn with the Cavern. And now he's creating a construct, I guess, on his draw step with the trigger on the stack or whatever.
Yep. You go to the construct.
Yeah. Just making a second.
Yeah, does he know that he responds? You know, he knows that he responds in he can respond to the trigger in your main phase, right? Or in his main phase.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
whenever it is. Yeah. He drew his card, and then the Saga went up, and now he made a construct, and now he has a Retrofitter Foundry.
Yeah. So as we see Urza Saga doing broken things, it cast a Pithing Needle, it made 8 power worth of constructs, and then it fetched a threat.
Yep. Things not looking great for me, but I think I'm gonna block with my Mog War Marshal here. Yep. That makes sense. It's gonna die anyway. This is pretty weird watching myself play, actually. This is a lot weirder feeling than I thought it was going to be.
Well, it's cool to be able to analyze your own games, right? I mean, like I think the thing about this game so far is that it's been entirely dictated by the die roll,
Right.
and it just so happened that he played turn 1 hold up Stifle, and you happened to have a fetch as opposed to the mountain that you laid on turn 2. So had you laid the mountain first, it would have stranded his Stifle. He would have not had a turn 1 play, and then he would have been compelled to go Pithing Needle hold up Stifle again. And then you would just go Lackey. He would have to go Swords, and he's still stranded with a Stifle in his hand. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Here's
Also,
the
if he had that turn 2, and you went Mountain Lackey, and then he has hold up Stifle, and then you fetch, and he stifles the fetch, then you play Lackey, and then he didn't hold up his Swords to the Lackey, he's got to spend his turn swordsing your Lackey. So there's a lot of different lines here that were entirely dictated by the fact that he won the die roll.
Yep. Here's Ringleader revealing. I believe that was a Matron, Port, and another Matron. It looks like.
What is your? Are you on? I know because I played you last night too. Are you? Or was it? Yeah, last night. Are you on Trashmaster?
In the sideboard. I have one in the sideboard.
Sideboard, okay.
Yeah. It's not in the main. It would have been good in the main for this matchup, but yeah.
Well, I was just asking, like, because I mean, obviously you have Wastelands, but like, when an Urza Saga gets out of hands like this and then just puts a bunch of roadblocks on the ground in front of you, and
Just that.
I was wondering what the current Gobbo plan is in response to that stuff. And Trash Master just seems like the
Yeah,
the
Trash
way
Master
to
does a lot of
limit
work for
stuff
sure.
now. Yeah,
All right, I just traded with Ragavan there, which I don't
that
know
seems
about the
excellent
Ragavan
for you.
attack.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that.
He played a Wasteland. I'm a little flooded, it looks like, actually. Maybe
Him
not.
trading his Ragavan for half a card seems. I mean, Ragavan's pretty soft in this matchup after you've developed, but
Yeah. Um,
I mean, it's excellent on turn one because like if you snag anything off of it, like all of your low to the ground stuff is
right.
still good for him to cast.
Now, I remember thinking at this point in time that a Munitions Expert would be great because if I blow up a construct, the other one will die as well.
No, he's got the
Potentially,
pithing
if
needle,
I
so
block.
it'll still have. Yeah, you would block for the blowouts for sure.
Yeah. Um,
Yep,
but
that's fine.
War Chief and
These
then Matron is the follow-up.
Just a quick aside again, this camera setup is. I mean, I get that there's a little bit of glare on your side, but the camera setup is sick.
Yeah, yeah. That's nice. I like being able to see the people playing. Human beings.
Well, you also get to see some amount of body language. I mean, like judging from what's going on with Max on his side of the board, he's been playing this game very aggressively. He's just
Yeah.
because he's been on the play, right? And so everything has lined up for him to be able to have the opportunity to spend as mana as he wants. And he traded that Ragavan really quickly. And you can see his body language is that he's a little twitchy. And
Yeah, he's a little like, oh no, this is getting out of hand.
I mean, he's still ahead. It's just that, like your plan of burying him behind blockers means that these two constructs are going to get outpaced fairly quickly. So he just has to keep sending to trade, and Goblins is just very good at foddering themselves, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm an idiot, but what's my third goblin again? Oh, that's a War Chief. I couldn't see what that glare card was. I forgot. All right, so I fetched. It looks like a Sling Gang.
Yeah, it looks like it. That Crater Maker was a huge. How many Crater Makers were you running?
There are 3 in the deck, I believe.
Yeah, it's a huge get to hit that Retrofitter Foundry.
Yeah,
Before he was able to
Crater Maker's
convert it
one of the
to
best cards in the deck.
Yeah. It's just really versatile. Crater Maker is kind of what Prismatic Ending is for the white decks now.
Kind of.
Because it kills the early creatures and hits the artifacts.
Yep. Pulls up Emrakul's.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, like his only plan is to just keep trading. And the reason that I think like the Saga Still deck with like Stifle and stuff is soft, because it's like in positions like this, Stifle doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Could have stifled like
It's like
my
Stifle-
Matron trigger or something, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's like even still, it's like okay, like that's like Stifle the Matron trigger. You know, your deck is flush, right? I mean, I get that like it's not meant for this matchup, but
Ooh, bolt on my War Chief. Okay.
True Name into Bolt, but like you finding the Sling Gang is actually a pretty good payoff because you're going to be able to race a True Name.
Yep. Muxus, big boy.
Yep.
So I remember this turn
Bang.
feeling like I got this.
Yeah, I mean, resolve Muxus and the game has to end, right? And just seeing a ringleader, if nothing else hit, if you hit 5 blanks in a ringleader, that's still it's still nutty, right?
It's pretty good.
It's like, all right, 6 power, 2 bodies, refill my hand. Like,
Munitions Expert and Mog Fanatic to my hand as well. This was a really good turn. So Pile Driver, Lackey, and the Ringleader were my Muxus, just for everybody watching that wasn't sure.
yeah, so Muxus was 6 mana, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 power plus a removal spell in hand,
Yep.
and that's without attacking. Like once you attack, this is lethal on the table.
Yeah, imagine
Nice
if
true
he
name,
didn't
bro.
bolt my War Chief. All of haste.
Sick true name.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if when you cast Muxus, he would have had to bolt the War Chief in response anyway.
Yeah. So it was a little. The risk was not getting the Sling Gang down that I could die to bolt, but
Look at that, dude. Straight up, no fear. Attack with the true name.
Yep. He just
Throws up
attacked
3
him.
blocks, and it's like, well, he knows about munitions expert,
Yep.
One card. Yep.
so that's easy. He also knows about sling gang, so you can just like sling gang him down.
Yeah, I can do a lot of damage with this sling gang.
Well, it's like, okay, he throws 3 blockers. He has to block the pile driver. He has to block the Muxus. Those all trade. He blocks what I assume whatever the other 3 drop is. But then you sack those 3. You deal him 3. You gain the life. You go back out of range of the true name nemesis.
Yeah.
He takes however much. He's lost his board. Sling gang just means that his true name is never going to get in for lethal, and like it's just too much inevitability.
All right, so I made a small mistake there by casting the Pashalik, and it got dazed, but I think I'm still in a good position.
I mean, you also have the luxury if at any point you could like you find another land and you can start Caracasing your Muxus
Yeah.
and make it uncounterable. Like that's not an end game that you're gonna lose.
No, absolutely not. And now I have the I'm trying to figure out my attacks here, but now I have the Sling Gang, which can just gain. I mean, it gains me so much life. Pashalik resolving
yeah,
though would have been lethal.
Sling gang just means that this true name is irrelevant.
Right. This true name is completely irrelevant right now. Yeah.
Goblins is as close to legacy aristocrats as we're ever gonna get.
Yeah, something like that.
Just for
All right, so now he's trying to figure out blocks here. Of course, Monk's just got to get blocked because it's like a 12-12 right now.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, dude, I always played against whenever I've played against Muxus, I always just assume that it's similar to Pile Driver's text, but it's not. It doesn't matter about like it's not other attacking goblins. It's just other goblins.
Yeah, yeah.
So this.
When we played that, like threw my math off. Not in a
Oh,
way that
that's
was
right,
like all
yeah.
that relevant. But.
Yeah, I remember that.
He took 2 damage and then he becomes a 2/2.
Yeah, so he throws away his board. You sack everything. You drain him.
Oh.
Yep,
Yeah, I guess it makes sense to trade off the board. Sure.
yep. I'm not sure how this matron came into play. I kind of missed that.
You didn't you stick a lackey attack?
Oh, right. Yeah. The lackey. Sorry. Yep. What do I search for here? I'm trying to. I don't remember what I searched for. Let's see. I have a munitions expert and a Mog fanatic in hand. Those are the 2 cards we know about.
It's crazy to me that he hasn't scooped in this position. So if you're you and you already know that this game is locked up because he's hellbent,
Yeah.
the only card that gets him out of a situation like this is Terminus.
Right. Even
That,
that
like-
is still not that amazing. Yeah.
It's not even that amazing because you just sack your board, right?
And I have a ring
He
leader,
still
yeah.
Terminus is away his true name. You go back up to a full life total. He takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he goes down to 4. He knows that you have a ringleader and hand off the matron. It's like, in your position though, it's like the only thing I'm thinking is either he just refuses to concede and not save himself the time in the round, which is
Yeah.
weird because he's not a fast deck, or he's just hoping for a Terminus, which is his only play. But at that point, does that even cross your mind as you're playing Goblins? Are you thinking to yourself, okay, he's still playing this out, and the only reasonable card that he could have that would save him is Terminus. Do I then have to put him on Terminus the next game and play around it?
Yep.
I think at this point I'm just thinking he's looking for Bolt or something. Maybe, I don't know. He's gonna try and
I
bolt
mean,
me in.
I guess
So so he plows the Sling Gang, which is not the worst.
Okay.
yeah, you just sack it, and along with a couple of other stuff, go out of range so you don't die, and he's hellbent, and then you just kill him on the crack.
Yeah, that's basically my plan here. Let's see what I sack. I think if I remember correctly, I actually sacked too many goblins. I think I just quickly did the math and just tried to hurry up. Yeah, I sacked 4, which I don't think was necessary. Or was it?
Well, if
I
you
don't
sack 4 and then let the swords resolve, you go up out of range of 2 hits, so you can take a hit, and then he doesn't top deck,
Then you go to.
or he's hellbent. So I guess
I go to 9.
if you go up to 7,
Mhm.
then you're just out of range of 2 hits, and you're just playing conservatively because there's no reason to let
5, and I'm at
yourself lose this game.
Oh, and the fourth was slinging. Okay, I see what I did. Yeah. So now I'm okay.
Or you did your math fine, because
Yeah.
you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have ringleader 6, 7.
Mhm.
Oh, and you still have Muxus. Yeah, so he blocks the Muxus.
Right. I think he's
Is
dead.
there any argument to? Oh, you didn't have the land. I was going to say, is there any argument to just slamming a Muxus again off the Caracas because he's hellbent and hope for haste? But I guess you're just safe for doing it like this.
I do have a Mog Fanatic in hand as well. Oh, there's a land.
Oh, you have the Mod Fanatic, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Combat.
What's the card under the ringleader right now that I'm missing? That's a matron, right?
There's 2 ringleaders, a Muxus, and 2 tokens.
Yeah. So it's 2. Okay, so he's taking 6. Mog Fanatic would put him down to 1.
Yeah,
And so his
now
only
I'm
out would
trading
be
again.
Bolt, unless you have something else.
Sling game. And
Another Sling Gang I fetch. Yeah, I'm not
Okay,
sure what
so
Max is trying to draw here.
His out here would be Bolt,
Right.
because he
Yeah.
can swing it with the true name in Bolt, which, I mean, I guess it's like that's an out that you theoretically didn't have to give him.
Yeah. I think that's what as I'm cleaning up my cards there, I'm kind of shaking my head a bit, like thinking to myself, I should have sacked more goblins to the Sling Gang.
Yeah,
But
because there were the 2 1/1s. Yeah, they're just not really all that relevant. Oh, geez. Fatty McFat guy getting up in the back there. Don't body shame yourselves, chat.
Alright, a Stifle on my fetch again.
Do you know if you remember if you had a mountain in hand?
I don't remember. I don't think I did though.
I also think there's an argument that he's playing his stifles way too aggressively, because a stifle on your fetch is just so much worse than like stifle a key Muxus, stifle a key ringleader. Like a ringleader putting you up 3 cards. It's like if the stifle doesn't just like landlock you because you had nothing else going on,
later, man.
it's just too aggressive of a stifle to me. Like that's not the axis that this game cares about.
Right. He wastelands me. That's a Skirk Prospector on my board, by the way.
Correct it.
For some reason, he thinks that the game is still about that, even with Skirk Prospector on the table.
Yeah. Cavern of
I mean,
Souls is relevant.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's reasonable. I don't know how much counter magic he would leave in the matchup, knowing that Cavern of Souls exists. But also, he wastes with the Urza Saga on the table, so now he can't make a construct. So, like, him going on this plan is also hindering his development.
Yeah.
Which is where I think to myself, like, that's where I'm saying the stifle plan, like, the line of going stifle waste is just not what the game is. Like, it's not how he wins the game.
Yeah.
Like, he wins the game by catching a key goblin from getting a trigger that would help you rebuild, and then he gets the trade. Because the cards that matter are Ringleader and Muxus.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, so, yeah, if you're going to... Sorry, what?
Oh, yeah, I was just saying Urza Saga is obviously broken. Like, he only converted a mana and then used it to fetch a Pithing Needle, but it could have converted a construct. And he could have 6 power on the table, plus an answer to the Pithing Needle, and then still have a Stifle up to have stopped whatever your line was. And it's like, you're set back here, but not in a way that, like, this game could be well out of hand because he has functionally a counterspell for one of your key threats. But instead, any Ringleader or Muxus is just a game-ending play with him on, looks like 3 cards in hand.
Looks like it, yeah. He's got 2 servos now, which can then... What's the order again? They become Thopters and then they become Constructs? Something like
Yeah,
that.
he's never converting them into Thopters unless he's blocking.
Right.
That's 2 mana intensive, and he's stuck on 2 lands right now.
Right. Fetches a
It's
Volt.
like him going stifle your land, waste your land,
Let's go into it.
has just as a means to try and hinder your development is an aggro line, and he's not a deck that's aggressive enough to care about that. So now he goes after your, what you call it, your, what's the card that the
Prospector.
sack and make mana?
Prospector, yeah.
Prospector. So he goes after the Prospector to again to go into the mana denial plan, and it's only then that you scoop it up, and I guess to save time, because that game is far from over.
Starting Goblin.
Yeah, I just had a hand though where I was like, I'm just never gonna catch up. I'm way too far behind. I think my hand was just garbage. So here we are with a turn 1 Lackey. Can't be countered.
So this is why I think it's interesting on the meta analysis chat. Like, hop in if you think that it is incorrect. I was just arguing entirely that going on the mana denial plan is not the way the game is won, and then that game ended up looking like it was won on mana denial.
Yeah, it basically was, yeah. But I think your like analysis was correct though, that it was very risky for him to do. It needed me to have the hand that I had, which was that I basically had nothing to cast for the next 3 turns.
Well, it was risky in that it also the opportunity cost was 6 power on his side of the table.
Yeah. All right, so he just dropped a card that I don't know what it is.
It looks like is that a Grafdigger's Cage? It looks like a cage.
Oh yeah, I think it is Grafdigger's Cage. Yeah, I think you're right.
So luckily, Cage only matters against Muxus and isn't very good.
Yeah. So I wasted him. Now here comes the Lackey.
19.
But I'm the same way. I would board in Cage as well, obviously, because like you need to take out Force Wills.
Yep.
I'll put him in. Sure. Trigger.
There's Muxus.
I'm not gonna enter, but I still have to do it.
I'm explaining to him now that I just have to reveal the cards, but nothing comes into play because of the Grafdigger's Cage.
It's just like so. It's like if anybody wanted to know if Grafdigger's Cage was good, Grafdigger's Cage stopped the game from ending on the spot right there. But at the same time, he still has
So just be considered the recipe in like
5 power beater plus show and tell on the table, facing down a Grafdigger's Cage. So like that Grafdigger's Cage saved the game from ending, but it functionally put him down a card and left you with a gigantic body that his deck is either swords or bust against.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have felt really good to see him play a Saga.
Yeah, and I wasted it too.
attack, trigger, take 6 with 13. Trigger and
Yeah,
Lackey.
took it for 6. It's pretty good too.
Ringleader.
Swing in for 6, show and tell you.
Ringleader. Revealing
Trigger hand.
Mag War Marshal.
Bottom.
No, that's a
Munitions
Ringleader.
Expert,
Oh, that's weird. That's munitions. That's
and
right.
I think a Gem Palm Incinerator, and I put a Magus of the Moon on the bottom.
Yeah, so Ringleader just draws 3 cards. Pretty
Yep.
good. Nice Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, Grafdigger's Cage just excelled this game into you giving him a harder beatdown.
Kind of, yeah.
Because Muxus, he would have just scooped it up, and you guys could have like gotten drinks.
Yeah. That's true. Maybe we would have. Acts as a local friend.
Have you been digging like this iteration of Goblins?
Read 'em.
Have I been liking it?
Yeah. Do you notice like are there any noticeable weaknesses or areas where you think that the deck needs to could move around pieces to improve? Because I know it's got a bunch of bullets.
Yeah, I mean the combo matchups I probably should get better at as a player in this way, but against like decks like Depths and Secret Show and stuff, I just have a really hard time. It's really tough. I feel like I'm like 10%
Has
based
Goblins
on
ever
like
experimented
combining my
with
skill
Cabal
level
therapy?
with the deck. What's that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh yeah, no. I was just saying like my skill level plus the deck, I end up with like a 10% win percentage against combo.
Has Goblins ever dabbled with Cabal therapy?
I mean,
'Cause I know you were
have,
playing
and I'm sure
Fire
someone-
Blast.
Yeah, I'm sure someone has.
I guess it depends on how many Mog War Marshals you play.
Yeah. My War Marshal is more often used for ramp and chump blocks than anything. Like
Yeah.
and it ends up being important for both.
4 card tax.
It becomes like a ritual if I have a Skirk Prospector in a way.
Yeah. No, I mean it seems like it's a clear card that bridges the gap between your development to your mid game.
Yeah. Bolton the
What's he
Lackey.
thinking about?
Trigger.
Oh, he's deciding what he wants to plow.
Yeah, he bolted
Yeah.
a Lackey before combat.
Oh, it's a bolt. Okay, that's irrelevant.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not irrelevant, but it's this is a
The
pretty harsh beating.
Yep.
Sure. Trigger.
And a wild more Russell.
I see you. Draw.
Double Wasteland to start the game for me was quite good too.
Yeah, but I mean that's also like an issue with the Urza Saga deck or the like Urza Saga Ragavan deck. The mana's bad.
Yeah, it's true.
It's playing it's playing 4 Urza Saga. It's playing what 6 duels plus a
Yeah.
Caracas. It's like on maybe a basic.
It's basically a 4-color deck if you control the colorless mana in a way.
Yeah, it compensates by playing 23 lands, but at the same time, it struggles in that like it has a lot of color intensive spells,
Yeah. Yeah.
and also it's very mana hungry.
oh, kept
Yeah.
a bad hand. Yeah.
It's trying to
I
be
mean,
all
there's
tempo-y
this and
too,
then
with cards
follow
like
up.
Stifle and
Yes,
Daze
those
and stuff.
against me.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah, thanks.
the deck has been doing well
Another
in
2/2 day.
like online and in events. So like
I always do too.
who knows what I have no maybe I don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But in theory, I just talked about this on Eternal Doodles with Zach. In theory, the Ragavan Standstill deck, I just don't know what the deck is trying to do. Like if you open up a 7, your plan could either be, okay, am I supposed to Urza Saga, am I supposed to Ragavan, or am I supposed to hold up Stifle? And you have flexibility of your lines, but none of those things cohesively do anything together. Except like I guess Ragavan makes artifacts, but like is that enough?